this is like at least honestly, I would say this is 2.5 to 3 trolls.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Collecting Brothers. John, this is Josh, and we are talking Mythic Legions Beyithirr. Legions Con happened over the weekend here, and it is the 25th anniversary of the Four Horsemen Studio, as well as the 10th anniversary of Mythic Legions figures. And they announced during their live stream a figure by the name of Beyithirr. Josh, what are your thoughts?
You know, we knew it was coming. Like Corn Boy, even dude, I swear he flat out said it in the stream. He flat out said it's coming. Just it takes a while, and also we have to figure out logistically how to ship it, how to price it. You know, it's a risk. Like it's a risk just because of how expensive it is.
Yeah, just to kind of elaborate on what you said. So Corn Boy, a long time ago, we're talking like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, he said, we're going to do a 3-foot dragon. And everyone always speculated, right? Okay, 3 foot's like, are we talking wingspan? Are we talking length? Are we talking height? You know?
and he would say, he said it multiple times. Like, not just like 6 years ago. He just kept saying it. He's like, it just takes time, guys.
And what better time than the 25th and 10th anniversary to do a Mythic Legions dragon, green dragon. This is a drake is what this is technically because of the four limbs and then plus the winged arms. Dragon is like a European dragon aesthetic here, but Beyithirr, the green dragon. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's been coming for a while, of course, like you said here, but man, this thing is huge.
And we even saw it like in like, you know,
yeah.
Like Nate Barch, whatever you see in his art, dude, that's coming. And Nate Barch was like putting dragons in the artwork and like giving hints to it as well.
Yeah.
But, you know, with that, dude, wouldn't you have preferred the non-Drake dragon?
Yes. Oh, we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's talk about Beyithirr real quick here. So this is a dragon scale figure. It's going to be a pre-order campaign in January 2025 here. So it's kind of a Kickstarter, kind of a HasLab sort of situation here. So it's going to be strictly limited to the pre-order. So if you want this dragon, this 4 foot long, 2 foot tall dragon, you need to make sure that you pre-order this figure. Now, they don't know the price yet. They were not able to solicit it or tell us the price yet.
Makes sense, yeah.
They also are not sure on the production of this. They were kind of questioning whether or not how much of this is going to be roto casted, how much is it going to be actual plastic, and they're also going to that because like they need to figure out what parts are roto, if any parts are roto, because then that plays into the price. And now shipping is going to be nuts on this, right? Like this is
not if it's roto. If they use roto,
correct.
It's hollow, so it's going to be lighter,
and it also cuts on the price, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking here. Let me just give a quick look here. This is a 3 foot long dragon, right? The tail's bendy. It's articulated. The arms, all the feet are articulated. The wings do not flap out, but there is a joint in the like shoulder blade, and then the neck is also articulated. With this though, it's a big figure. This is a big old boy. Here's a quick size comparison. Here we got a little troll. We got some brute scale. We got a horse.
Gobby.
And we got a little goblin there as well. But the cool thing, too, that they're also doing here is a dragon scale accessory kit as well. So you
go back to that shot.
Yep.
One thing is like sometimes I feel like with toy companies, they want to do something great, right? But sometimes logistically they can't because the scale of it. And then they kind of cheat you. I just love that they went big. You know, I feel like this is if you look at the human character and the Gobby character, like, I don't think I would want the dragon any bigger. And it's not small to work because sometimes like when they're like, oh, let's do a dragon, but they're gonna have to it. Like they're just like, oh well, we want to make it we're gonna do a mini dragon. No, they went like I think the perfect size for a dragon that scales with that regular 6-inch 1.0 buck.
Yeah.
So good on them, man, to have the balls just be like, no, we need to make it big. We got to make it big. It's a dragon.
And there's a funny story to that. So apparently Eric Treadaway, who sculpted all of it, that beautifulness, he printed his head. So he's okay. I got the sculpt down. I got the size down, and he printed the head out. And he's like, okay, here's the head of the dragon, and he presents that to the Four Horsemen Studios, and everyone's like, this feels kind of small. And so like, okay, we'll increase it by 10% on the scale. So they increased it by 10%. And they're like, well, let's just get crazy. Let's just increase it by 20% too. And then they're like, okay, which one do you guys like the most? Right. They presented to their team there, and everyone gravitated towards that 20% increase off of Eric Troy's original sculpt. And they said that it needs to be big. And that's something
Yeah,
that they wanted to present and wanted to have in this figure. Originally, the original figure of the dragon, the leg was the same size as a troll leg.
that would have
And
been terrible, dude.
exactly, and that's exactly what
Would
they
have
said.
been
They're like,
terrible
it cannot be the same as that. It has
because
to be bigger.
what people are gonna do and what everybody wants to do is it has to be where you put a guy riding on its neck. So it has to be to scale to where you can put a person and it looks proportionate where there's a kid, there's a guy riding on the neck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what we want. We want somebody
Yeah,
riding a dragon.
yeah, 100%, 100%. But yeah, and I think they crushed it on the scale, man. They did a really good job. This thing is massive. And but the dragon scale accessory set does come with the flame effects here. So you get like the flame coming out. You also get a separate head that's different from the head that comes with the figure initially, and then a little like kind of a fire base as well for the accessory set here.
And you
But
also get the splayed out wings. So the wings are different. They're like it's
correct.
a wider spread.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's correct. So
More
just
like in
get
flight.
more spread out there. If you want the lore, technically this Drake is part of the 5 pillars of the first world, and in this lore here, they did say that this Drake is like kind of the first to awake, and then that he does need to go or feels a need to go and awake the other 4 pillars of the first world. So basically confirming that there's going to be 4 other dragons. Now they did also say that not necessarily in the same style, which takes me back to the Reign of the Beast Shenron, right? That came with the Talon Bearer. Are we getting a Shenron? I would love a Shenron, right? I would love a more traditional dragon with the hind legs and the winged arms. What other dragons, man?
Dude, that would be the right thing to do, but I would understand if they didn't, just because of how much money and is going to go into this. If they just straight up repainted it and give us new HUD sculpt and maybe like a new tail and a new
like a red dragon, like
yeah, black one, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. But
No.
dude, if they went the 10 yards and gave us, the East Asian type dragon and more with the dragon with the wing, oh, that would be so cool. Especially because each dragon correlates to their land, especially because they're expanding the land of Mythos. Would be so amazing. But which brings me to like that point where I said, we would prefer the non-Drake dragon.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, thinking about it, I get why they went with this one, because it would be a lot more articulation if you were to do the arms in the wings,
Yes,
like you would have to have breaks within the wings and within the webbings. Like it would have to be a lot more articulation. It's going to be a good thing, right? But it would increase the price a lot. And we already know this is going to be an expensive figure just because of how big it is. So it makes sense, right? Because if the hands are in the wings, but man, we got to get that because that's how dragons look in LOTR. That's how they look in Game of Thrones.
It's a more natural. It follows more of the natural.
The bats, yeah.
Well, there's just in nature, there's no animal that has 4 legs and wings, right? Because technically that's a six appendages, right? Which is just not common for us. Like even dinosaurs didn't have that. So, but yeah, no, I think it's cool, man. Okay, you kind of touched on price. What are you thinking the price is going to be for this?
And it's going to be very cool to see. It's going to be so cool to see because we're going to have another point of comparison from an independent toy company who I feel like has always done the right thing and they never try to price gouge. Like I feel like Four Horsemen, no matter what, like they're trying to make ends meet so they can make the next wave. They're not trying to make as much money as they can, So it's going to be awesome to have their version of HasLab and then to be like, okay, this is what I'm getting from the Horsemen Studios and this is what I can get from Hasbro versus whatever, right? With this, like you said, depending on if it's Roto, because with the Trolls, they went Roto, and it wasn't too bad. The only thing with Roto is that you can't pack as much articulation and as strong articulation. Like there can't be as many breaks, because it's hollow.
And they did mention, like they said that parts of it would be Roto. So they did not say that like the whole thing would be Roto. They said that parts of it. They say what parts maybe can be Roto.
Maybe I would say the neck, if anything, because you want the legs. I feel like maybe solid, but
I feel like you would want the legs and the wings solid.
Right. Maybe the neck.
But like torso neck and torso, yeah, exactly, yeah, and the tail solid, I think too, just because
it's just too thin, yeah.
Dude,
dude, 3 feet long. Okay, so like go back. No, I need the comparison shot. Okay, troll trolls go for 100, right?
Okay.
But with the inflation, I think they started charging 110. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so looking at the troll versus the dragon, this is
Spot.
like at least honestly, I would say this is 2.5 to 3 trolls worth. Wouldn't you say?
I would
I
agree.
would honestly say 3 trolls worth actually. So I'm thinking $300.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I'm thinking 300, 350.
I hope it's 300. 300.
400's pushing it, and maybe that's
No,
the
no,
price with
400.
the accessory set.
Yeah, and I think that's smart that they did accessory set because then if just like
Yes.
at the HasLab, like where if you want that deluxe, me, I got to get that deluxe. But then if you just, you're just scraping by, you only have enough for 300, you can still get your dragon.
And that's what Eric Treadway said. He's like, listen, like we could have packed it in and had this, at a pretty big price, but they're like, let's just split it up so that way it's easier to get that initial figure made. And if people want the extra stuff, then they got the extra stuff, right?
Shout out Eric Troy, dude.
Dude,
Thank
he's
you. Man
after watching the stream twice, he's my favorite. He is like he's why I like Cosmic Legions. I didn't realize how influential he was to like this whole aesthetic, dude. Like he is the key to Mythic Legions, man. Everything comes from him.
Yeah.
Cosmic Legions, Mythic Legions. So shout out to Eric Treadway. He's the one that also sculpted all of Bodvar, every single fur on Bodvar. He's also the one that sculpted all the scales on this on Beyithirr. Like this guy puts in work, dude. And I respect that. And I love this guy. And he gives us these beautiful toys. And yeah, I'm thinking 300 to 350 base figure, 400 for the additional parts, right?
You think another $100 for the head and the wings and the blast effect? Let me think.
Well, if we're at 350,
right.
then yeah. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking 350 is kind of that midpoint between them for my personal opinion. But yeah, 300 to 350 for the base figure, 350 to 400 for the full deluxe set for both figures, for both sets.
I think they'll sell it separate. Like I don't think you think they'll do like I don't think they'll be like, oh, you can buy everything for 400, right? Yeah.
No. I think it's gonna be like here's the base figure,
accessory
here's the
pack,
deluxe
like
set.
they did with the ogre.
Yeah,
one time
and then if you want both, add them both to your cart.
Yeah,
but yeah, we don't know a lot of details. Yeah, I mean they have 2 dragons out on display right now at Legions Con, which is so cool. Like check out Toy Culprits, Toy Bros there, dude. Foosh is there. Brick Something is there. Adam Drake from Highly Articulated, Spiro Toys. Like it's such a cool gathering of friends. Check out any of the Instagrams. I'm sure they've posted. Unparalleled Universe is there as well. Wade's out there taking photos, and so yeah, man, this is something that's just so cool, man.
Yeah, and it makes sense why they did it only made to order, right?
Right.
Go ahead because they cannot take the risk of like having a bunch of dragons. They're just too big. They have no room in the warehouse to begin with. So, dude, you gotta start saving now because this
January is right around the corner.
Yeah, because it's gonna start right after.
Yes.
The other wave, right?
The Reign of the Beast, right?
Right.
And it'll probably run for a month and a half, 45 days.
Exactly. So start saving now because I honestly think 300. I think they're gonna do 300. I think it's a nice round number.
And it's also like something that you've kind of said, like that's kind of the sweet spot right now for these kind of campaigns, is that 300 price point.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there is Beyithirr, the first of the dragons to awaken, and we'll get 4 other ones because there's 5 pillars of the first world. So we'll get some more dragons, man.
Oh, I need me a ice dragon, man.
That's
cool. What I need.
Oh yeah, and they do frost giants or frost ogres, right?
That's what I'm saying. There's the frost land, so they did the frost ogre plus. Like with Game of Thrones. People love the Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
you gotta have that.
People do love the Game of Thrones. That's true. Okay, but along with that too, in a couple of weeks, Brad Treadway is going to be releasing a documentary on the birth of the dragon. So apparently they got some kind of like behind the scenes footage. Kind of the process of inception of the dragon to prototype that is being displayed at Legions Con.
I love that.
I love that too, man.
Behind the scenes, I love that, man. The special features.
I'm currently watching the documentary on Johnny Williams on Disney Plus, man. Sheesh, that guy's goated, dude. And I love that, right? I've always loved special features and the behind the scenes.
Just seeing the artistry, it just makes you appreciate the movies more. Like especially when you watch, the Star Wars behind the scenes, you learn about ILM. and then the Lord of the Rings with Weta.
The appendices, man. The
You see the
appendices.
artists, and you see how much work they put into, and it just makes you appreciate the final art product more.
The two, I don't know how much of the appendices you've seen, but the two guys that for the 3 years that they shot Lord of the Rings, their one job was making chainmail.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes.
Dude, it takes forever. They handmade the chainmail. I saw that. Yeah.
Those guys are goated, dude. And like I want to see that, of the idea of the dragon, the early Cornboy comments, the sculpting that Treadaway did, the sizing that they had to do, the scaling, and then to the final unveiling. Dude, the unveiling was sick during the live stream. Because they're like, all right, it's time for Q&A. We're all done with everything. And everyone's like, oh, okay, yeah, let's get our questions ready. Like, actually, we have one more reveal. And then they freaking moved the banners away from behind them. And then this dragon on a freaking rock mount showed up from behind them, and they pulled it forward, and everyone just lost their minds, dude. It was so cool. Like I'm watching it. I mean, I'm watching it live and stuff. I'm not there, but you could just feel the joy and like the energy of that room seep through that live stream, man. It was incredible,
right? Because man, the community's been waiting for this. We've been waiting for this for such a long time. They even said like we've been wanting to do this since when we first started Mythic Legions. The fourth one said we wanted to do a dragon, and it's taken what
10 years.
10 years. 10 years. We got it, baby. 10 years.
So no, and yeah, I think Jeremy also tied it into the lore. He's just like, we didn't just want to do it because it's the anniversary, but we also wanted to explain like the lore where the world of Mythos is expanding. That it's also going to introduce new people and new characters, and so that's kind of a lore way of doing it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I actually love that trope, even though it's like a done on trope where there's like these like actually with the Four Horsemen, like these big type of characters within just having like these special dragons, one for kind of each area or however they're going to do it. It just makes you want to collect them all.
Yeah, you gotta have the 5, right?
Yeah. Having a name like the 5 Pillars, dude. How are you gonna have one pillar if they're called the 5 Pillars?
Right, exactly. Like it's a guarantee, right? We're gonna get Beyithirr the Green as well as all of his brothers and sisters and fellow dragons. Yeah. All right, friends, but that's gonna go ahead and wrap up the 10-year anniversary of Mythic Legions. And they're not stopping, guys. They got so many more years of toys and stories and everything that you can want from this toy line is progressing, and they're changing with the times. They're updating their games, as evidenced with the 3.0 bodies that they'd introduced here, and a dragon. What other company is giving you a fully articulated dragon, man?
Yeah, this is the best toy company right now. There's nobody out doing these guys, and me and you, I love my fantasy, but I love my sci-fi more. Mm-hmm. Now, dude, this gives me hope. We're gonna get like a ship, like a fighter. Give me a Cosmic Legions fighter.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Like same thing. Do a HasLab type. Yeah. $250, $300 starship for just like one character. Just like a starship like this.
Yeah,
dude, cool. That's next. I'm telling you, Treadaway's already sculpting it right now as we speak.
And that's the thing too with Cosmic Legions, like because they have the experience from Mythic.
If this works, right?
It's quicker. No,
also like if this works and like they get numbers, then they're like, okay, we need to do something big like this for Cosmic and give us a starship. Exactly.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. And I recently got my Outpost Axis all in when they did their in stock, man, and. Man, adding all those figures to my Cosmic Legion shelf and the Heavy Gunner, like, man, those figures are just so much fun. Again, these Legions guys, whether you like swords and sandals or the fantasy,
guns and lasers,
Cosmic, it's here for you, man. These guys, like, I don't know, dude. I got emotional watching the live stream, and it just made me feel like I love this toy company, not only because they make great and amazing toys, but the people behind it are so like their passion is so infectious, and it makes me so happy that I fully committed to them. I think it's been a year now, and I have no regrets. So, all right, shout out to the Legion's friends. I want to give a big old shout out to David Williams, Eric Treadaway, Cornboy, of course, Jim Pizzoli, Jeremy Gerard, and Trevor 16 Shooter, man. Those guys, pillars of the community. Dork Layer, of course, always doing the Figure Obscura drops. Guys, this is probably one of the best communities to be a part of, and they are here to make the best figures too. So join us on the Mythic Legions, friends. All right. Anything else? Let us know down below your comments of how you feel about the dragon. Do you love the Drake? Do you like the green?
And guess the price point. I want to see what you guys think
Yeah.
this price. Guess what the price point will, so we can come back and see who hit it.
Yeah, let's see who. Yeah, let's see what you get. What you guys are guesses. I did see someone go real crazy. They're like $1,200. I'm like, let's not get crazy here. But let us know down below what do you guys think the dragon is going to be. And but as always, friends, keep collecting, keep playing. May the action figure gods smile upon you. Peace.